he's pretty mentally weak in the ring. You know, as soon as things don't start going his way,
Yeah.
he starts to crumble, and things aren't going to go his way. So I think he's going to crumble.
Yeah.
Jake Paul reacts with surprise as intense sparring clips of Gervonta Davis surface online. Jake says he actually enjoys it when people doubt or criticize him because it adds excitement to every fight. He explains that he's still putting in the work and staying locked in on his training. Jake
And on business and say the other person's gonna win. I like it.
So when
it makes it fun.
When he lay your boy out, you know what I mean?
He's my boy too. I love Mike.
I mean, Mike will move from this side to this side without you knowing exactly at which moment.
Showbiz the Adult responds strongly to critics who claim Gervonta Davis accepted the Jake Paul fight only for money. He says the situation is far more complex than people think. Jake himself revealed that the fight contract includes a special knockout bonus, which completely changes the motivation behind this match. According to Showbiz, if there's a huge bonus for scoring a knockout, that means Tank will go all in. He won't take any risks that could lead to him being knocked out. This fight, he explains, isn't just about pride anymore. It's about both money and legacy. Showbiz adds that many people are missing the psychological aspect. Tank is a very proud fighter. The idea of being knocked out by a YouTuber turned boxer is unthinkable to him. So when people call it a payday fight, they ignore the competitive fire that truly drives him. Showbiz believes that Tank values his reputation much more than any paycheck. And Jake's comments about the knockout bonus may have only made this fight more personal.
You guys told me that Gervonta Tank Davis is just taking this fight for a payday. He's just trying to get to the bag. Well, you got the fight itself, which is a payday, and you got a KO bonus on top of that, a big bonus. That's what Jake Paul said.
They're going to get a big bonus.
And they got a side bet of $2 million.
Let's make it 2.
Y'all gonna shake on it?
Yeah.
Shake on it?
Shake $1 million.
2 mil?
2 mil?
2 mil. Let's do
2
it.
mil. Go get a shake.
Oh, they're shaking lefty.
2 mil.
There we go.
Oh, my fuck.
Why not get the entire bag? Whenever I got good food on my plate, I clean the plate. There is no reason to bull jive.
Hold on. Because I'm going to play some Marvel Rivals. Let me get all this together. I'm going to be playing some Marvel Rivals later. Hold on, let me get my blind.
Cause no cream. And yes, no cream. Because I'm fired up today. I got on the scale today and I'm 209 pounds. Okay, you guys know that I'm on the fitness journey. I'm showing you guys my video journal. And I started at 217 pounds when I started all this 12 days ago. And I'm telling you, I'm seeing faint abs. Hold on, the faint abs. Woo! The faint abs! The faint abs! The faint abs! I'm telling you, it'll be back. I will be back. I want my Terminator shit. And when I'm done, I'm going to tell you guys my secret and exactly how I did it. I'm talking about step by step, everything. I'm going to be in great shape like I was. When I turned 45 and all the gray in the beard, I was just like, it ain't over, bro. It ain't over. Hold on. Let me. Ooh. Dr. Doom. Okay. All right. But listen. A lot of you guys calling this a fake fight and all this shit. I'm going to quote one of you in the war room. I forgot, one of my show business partners said, was it Justin Hill? I forgot who it was. You guys said, something like, and if I misquote you, I'm sorry, but it was dope. You said something like, if this is a fake fight, it definitely has real consequences. I keep telling you guys, man, if it goes on their real record or not, whatever it is, you know what you saw. It's just like Ryan Garcia versus Devin the American Dream Haney. Devin Haney is still undefeated, but we know what we saw. You cannot erase what we saw. If Jake Paul knocks out Tank Davis, there's some real circumstances. The shit goes viral, and I'm going to lose $10,000. Jake Paul isn't just going to win in this exhibition. but he's also going to get a knockout bonus and an extra $2 million.
Veteran trainer Robert Garcia approaches the topic with a professional's mindset. He says there's technically nothing wrong with Tank accepting this fight against Jake Paul. It's his career, his decision. However, Garcia argues that the timing is what feels off. He points out that legends like Mayweather, Tyson, and Pacquiao took on exhibition fights only after they had already built legendary legacies with major titles and unforgettable victories. Tank, on the other hand, isn't at that stage yet. Garcia feels that Tank still owes fans the kind of fights that define greatness, matchups against top names like Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney. Those are the battles that silence critics and make history. In Garcia's eyes, the frustration isn't about the specific fight, but what it represents. Instead of solidifying his place among the greats, Tank chose an exhibition-style event against Jake Paul, which to Garcia seems like skipping a chapter in his boxing.
I don't know, what's your just take on the whole thing?
I'm not very interested. That doesn't excite me. I know it's going to do really good numbers. I know they're making a lot of money, which is good for them, good for Tank, because in boxing, that's what everybody looks for. I think is, the good thing is they announced it as an exhibition, which is, I'm okay with it. Everybody does it. Mayweather has done it. Ali did it. The only thing, my personal opinion is Tank, they all did it when they had already accomplished so much. They already did so much. Mayweather did everything in boxing and accomplished everything. Muhammad Ali did the same, and many others that have done it. I think Tank never gave us the fights that we really wanted. Never really gave us those challenges. He never really challenged himself. He didn't give Rhodes that rematch, which he should have. Mayweather did it when he had a hard time with Maidana and Castillo. Right away, he did the rematches to prove everybody wrong, and look at what he did. He beat him clearly. So Tank should have done the same. He didn't. That I could criticize, but then at the end also, if you're making 30 to 50 million, I don't even know what he's making to fight, to have an exhibition against just Jake Paul, I would have asked, I would do the same.
No one would say no to that, right?
If I had one of my fighters get an offer to fight a big celebrity, a big YouTuber for $20-30 million, I would probably do the same. So I don't blame him. It's boxing. At the end of his career, 20 years from now, nobody's gonna care how many belts he won or who he fought.
Boxer Bernie Thaw gives a blunt opinion on the situation. He mocks those who say they're just happy for Tank making more money, saying they're missing the real point. Tank isn't struggling financially. He's already one of the highest paid fighters of his era. Fans, Bernie argues, don't follow boxing to celebrate how much a fighter earns. They care about competition, excitement, and great rivalries. He points out that fans are more interested in real matchups that test fighter skills. For example, if Lamont Roach defeats Isaac Pitbull Cruz, that would be meaningful because Pitbull is considered Tank's toughest opponent. If Roach manages to beat him, it would raise serious questions about Tank's performance and the true rankings among top fighters. Bernie insists that Tank needs meaningful fights to maintain respect in the sport. Money fights like the one against Jake might
match with Tank, and it's I kind of don't really care about the fight no more. Starting to lose a little steam.
But I'm saying, if he stops Pitbull Cruz, right? Don't you think that people would want to see, Lamont and Tank more due to the fact that, Tank had a hard time with Pitbull?
No. I think people just want to see Tank versus Lamont because Lamont, he had a hard time with Lamont. It's just like Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. People just like controversy. People just like, you know what I'm saying? So people like to see finished business. They don't want to leave it unfinished. And that's what the intrigue is. They want to people want to see finished business. So, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the intrigue of the fight. And it doesn't make no sense why they taking so fucking a fight, Everybody keeps saying that Tank getting the money, but is we getting the fucking money? Is we bidding there for the fucking money? Is he gonna give us some of the money? Are we waiting on him to feed us any bit? No. I want what I want. Fuck that. I'm selfish. I'm a fan. I want to see the fucking fight. I don't want to see no fucking circus. You know what I'm saying? So for everybody saying, oh, he back, who gives a fuck? I hope he do get. He already rich as fuck. He already won 30 million in the last fight or something. He got more money than I'm ever gonna have. I don't give a fuck. I want to see the fights. I'm a fucking boxing fan. I want to see a fucking fight. I don't want to see no fucking farce. Fuck. Motherfucker count another motherfucker pockets. They all getting paid. These motherfuckers getting paid millions. Boy, we making how much? 60,000, 40,000 every motherfucking day. Going to work 9 hours a day and shit, and then coming home with come on, waiting on income tax and shit like that to get some big bread. Come on, man. I'm talking about the average person.
Lamont Roach speaks carefully but firmly about the controversy surrounding the Jake Paul matchup. He says he doesn't mind Tank taking the fight. After all, any fighter would be tempted by such a massive opportunity, but he criticizes how it was handled. Roach reveals that his own contract with Tank included a rematch clause, yet Tank went silent and signed to fight Jake instead, without any communication. To Roach, that shows a lack of business ethics and respect between fighters. He admits that in Tank's position, he might have done the same thing, but he would have made sure everything was handled professionally. What bothers him isn't the fight itself, but the lack of transparency. Boxing, Roach says, should be built on mutual respect. When a fighter skips obligations just to chase a spectacle, it hurts the sport integrity. He concludes that while this move may benefit Tank,
not executing that rematch, is it safe to say that there was some money given to you because of that?
Money given to me, not necessarily, but
okay.
You know, like I said, those guys took good care of me. Those guys on the other side took care of me. Not him personally and not his team personally, right. But you know,
but somebody made it right for that rematch not happening.
Kinda, you could say that. Yeah,
kinda. I understand. I don't understand the position you're in, but from the outside looking in, you had a phenomenal performance against arguably one of the best fighters, you know, top 10 pound for pound fighters in Tank, which many didn't believe it would happen. So you want the opportunity to get back and you know, I guess get the victory. But can you really, honestly, putting yourself in Tank's shoes, be upset with taking advantage of the opportunity to fight Jake Paul? Reportedly, there's about $40 million that he's going to get paid. Now, I don't know this to be, you know, accurate, but I'm saying those are the reports, right? If you were in his shoes, wouldn't you do the same thing?
See, now, this is something that I explain and express, and I hope everybody gets. That opportunity is an opportunity that you probably cannot pass up. But it's about how you handle it. It's about how you go about it. A lot of people don't know that he actually exercised his rights to the rematch, so that contractually binds us to a fight. You cannot breach that unless you do what you have to do to handle the business, to be like, okay, well, we mutually agree to let you move on or swindle around and fight.
Jake Paul defends his upcoming fight, clarifying that it's not an exhibition like Mayweather versus Logan Paul. He emphasizes that it's a fully sanctioned professional bout with real judges, real scoring, and a clear winner. Jake proudly talks about the knockout bonus, calling it massive motivation for both fighters. He says he thrives when people doubt him or expect him to fail. That doubt only fuels his drive. Jake insists this isn't about money. It's about proving himself. He views this fight as the biggest moment of his career. For him, the knockout bonus isn't just about the money. It's symbolic. It represents putting his belief, discipline, and hard work on the line against one of the most dangerous boxers in the world. Jake says he's been training harder than ever, and at this time, he's not...
I mean, even the list you made years and years ago, Gervonta Davis is on the list.
Yeah, exactly. It's all manifestation, and it's a very powerful thing. And yeah, I think people don't dream big or set massive aspirational goals and then also put the work in. I think that's the other thing, is like, I'm still doing sprints and track work and bench press and squats and all of these things for the sport of boxing. So when I transition to NFL, I'm going to have a lot of that natural explosiveness and power from the past 6 years of training every day.
Ryan Garcia doesn't hold back his opinion. He calls Jake Paul's move a publicity stunt aimed more at keeping him in the spotlight than elevating the sport of boxing. Ryan, who has his own rivalry with Gervonta Davis, claims that Tank accepted this fight not because of the challenge, but because of the paycheck. According to Ryan, true fighters
event brings.
Jake Paul versus Tank, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, everyone's talking about it. It's a whole thing. A lot of people liked it, didn't like it.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you first like saw that it was a thing?
It pissed me the fuck off, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
why?
It's just disappointing on mainly Jake's end. You know, we're not falling for the Disney Channel bit no more. We're not falling for you're not a fighter no more. We're not falling for that. You know, you're ranked as a cruiserweight and you're out here trying to fight a lightweight. And then on top of it, you were just talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. That doesn't make no sense. And, you know, I just felt like it was a disgrace to boxing and kind of it was not a good move by Jake Paul. You know, I understand people saying, you know, Gervonta got to go get his money, you know, blah, blah, blah. But, like, we're not talking about that shit. We're talking about the sport, bro. We're not talking about, oh, you got to get that money, bro. Yeah, but everybody's open to criticism. That's the whole point of this media shit. That's why they talk about basketball players. They don't talk about, well, LeBron's making too much. Like, nobody cares, bro. If LeBron's missing the shot, he's missing the fucking shot. So at the end of the day, bro, I just thought it was a disgrace to the sport. Because on one end, you know, you got the casuals, right? The casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. Yeah. And if Gervonta Davis doesn't fuck up Jake Paul, they're going to think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fighter. Yeah. And to me, that's just it's tricking the public, and it's kind of bullshit, bro, at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, if Gervonta was Jake Paul's size, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. There probably wouldn't even be a fight.
Former world champion Sean Porter gives a more balanced but still critical take. He admits Jake Paul deserves credit for bringing real fighters into the ring. That's not easy to do. However, he notes that most of Jake's opponents view him as a business opportunity, rather than a respected fighter they truly want to test themselves against. This pattern has followed Jake since his debut. He's earned fame, yes, but fame isn't the same as respect. Porter acknowledges that Jake's progress is genuine. His skills, conditioning, and discipline have clearly improved. But respect in boxing isn't built overnight. It comes from years of facing top...
Totally. Okay. Tank Davis and Jake Paul in November. According to betonline.ag, Jake Paul is the underdog at plus 139. Gervonta Davis is the favorite at minus 180. So he's the favorite almost 2-1.
Right.
What do you think will happen in this ring?
I don't know, but Tank should beat him. Tank should beat him, but Tank is smaller. And usually in boxing, you take the bigger man, but then again, Terrence Crawford killed that when he beat Canelo.
They're the same weight.
Yeah, they were
at the
same
time.
weight.
Well, no, maybe a little bit different after they rehydrated, but they weighed in at the same weight. There's a 30-pound difference between Gervonta and Jake Paul. Jake Paul had to lose like 30 pounds to get down to like 195. And Gervonta, I think, is like 160.
Gervonta all the way up to 160?
Oh, hold on. Gervonta.
160?
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. No. 133.8.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes, he 133.
It's a 60-pound weight difference.
Yes.
60 pounds.
Yes.
Ooh. That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you